Hi, today I am going to talk about the strategy Model Talk that is in Chapter 3 of our textbook, found on page 33. So this is how I would teach a lesson on gravity using the Model Talk strategy. Okay, scientists. Our first grade scientists today are going to learn about gravity. Gravity is something that we all experience every single day. Gravity, if I were to jump up, what keeps me from floating off into space? Gravity. Gravity is what pulls me back down to the earth. If I had a pillow and I dropped it, that's gravity that causes it to fall to the floor. If we didn't have gravity on Earth, then this pillow will be pulled up into space. Okay, so if I had a rock, and I dropped it, gravity is what pulls it down to the ground. Let's say this is the ground. So when we think about gravity, this is something that we always want to think about with gravity, is a downward arrow. When we talk about this in the classroom, and I say, what pulls something down to the ground? We know this is pulling down. This is gravity. Here's another example. If I have a piece of paper and we take our magnet and we put our piece of paper on the board, gravity is not working because the magnet is holding the paper in place. The magnet won't let gravity work. But if we didn't have the magnet, what happens? What do you think might happen? What will gravity do to this piece of paper? You're right. It'll fall to the ground. That's gravity. Each one of you has a piece of paper at your desk. Go ahead and take your paper, crumple it up into a ball, and we hold it in our hand. Our hand is holding up the paper. If there's something holding up an object, then gravity won't pull it down, right? With our colored paper, it was the magnet that was holding it up that caused it not to fall to the ground. With our crumpled paper, go ahead everybody, crumple your paper and hold it in your hand like this. Very good. That is holding up the paper so that gravity can't pull it down to the ground, right? But if we move our hand, gravity pulls it right down. Try that. Try that. Or if we drop it and our hand is there to stop it, our hand is holding it, right? But if there's nothing to stop it, gravity pulls it right down to the ground. This is gravity. Some of the words that we're going to have to remember with gravity are down or even push. We can push something against gravity. If I took my paper and let's not do this yet, let me show. If I took my paper and I pushed it, I'm pushing against gravity, but eventually gravity makes it fall to the ground. Okay, let's try that again. If I have my paper, I can push it, but eventually gravity brings it right back down to the ground. Now let's say we were outside on the playground. Let's do this. Say we were on the sliding board. We're smiling on the sliding board. When we're up on top of the sliding board, the ladder is holding us, right? It holds us. But as soon as we sit on the slide, what happens when we go down? Right, we sit here and there's nothing holding us anymore, so gravity pulls us down. Here's our down arrow again. Our down arrow. Remember, when we see that down arrow, that means gravity, right? Because gravity is always pulling down. Okay, we are going to work on something together. We are going to get out our textbooks and we're going to work on our graphic organizer on page 76. We'll do this together. And we have our word bank up there so that we all know the words. Down, earth, holds, push. Okay, this is our word bank. And we're going to work on this together. And we'll discuss more about gravity. So that was my little mini lesson on gravity. Using the model talk is when you demonstrate at the same time that you're teaching. That you're not just standing here showing something on the board, but you're actually demonstrating something so that the students can make those connections between what you are saying and what you're doing. And try to use ways that they can relate, like we talked about the sliding board. The students in first grade can definitely relate to a sliding board. So when we bring that into our lesson on gravity, then they can understand and make that correlation, because that's a personal relationship that they can make. They understand the sliding board, they enjoy the sliding board, so this makes sense to them. And that's how we do a model talk.